hello, hello. Welcome. I'm Candy Michael from Powell, Ohio, and thanks for joining me today. I am doing something that I've never tried before, but I saw something online and thought, what a cute idea. So I'm going to give it a whirl. This might take a little bit of time because there's a lot of instructions, and I will post pictures afterwards on my candystampers.com site, which I apologize, I have been on the go and just really haven't updated much of anything lately. So got to spend time with my 98-year-old dad celebrating his birthday out in California, trip to Alaska to visit my husband's family, and we just haven't stopped. So it's all good. I'm very excited to be here today and to get back and do some fun stamping projects. So I'm going to show you, and we're going to create together. So you can either write down the measurements or you can look them all up after. But I promise tonight I have my whole night set aside to go back and repost all this. And you can always watch the replay. Hello, Dina White out in Texas. So here we go. And I'm running today because I literally got my hair cut and had to run back home so that I could be here with you guys. So here I am. Yay! Yay, yay, yay. All right. So let me grab my dimensionals that are on my side here. And I will have everything in front of me ready to roll. So I hope. All right, so I am going to create a box card. I don't know if you've seen them. I have not seen too many of them done with any Stampin' Up stuff. So I'm going to add something in there today and show you what I'm going to do. So the very first step is I'm using a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and I am scoring it. This is going to be, I put it in red because I'm going to score it, but I'm also going to be cutting these red lines. So just keep that in mind. So the first thing we're going to do is score at 1 3/4 and again at 2 3/8. And then on the other side, we're going to score it at 9 5/8 and 10 1/4. Okay, so you can see my lines, you can see the measurements on here. That's the first thing we're going to do. I'm going to kind of flip to the next one so I can show you what you will do after that. But again, just letting you know that my red lines mean that those will be cut, but a very special way. So got to keep following me. Hello, Terry, welcome. Okay, so the next step is I have those same score line or those same cutting measurements, and I will literally walk you through this whole thing. So I've redrawn those, and I just gave you those measurements. So now what we're going to do is we're going to score. And where's my pen? Here it is. So this is what we're going to score. So, and I actually did score those before I cut them because it made it easier using a score tool like Stampin' Up. Oh my gosh, this is so awesome because I'm going to cut along those score lines, and later on when you use your designer paper, you may not want those drawings on your paper when you go to fold everything up. So I'm doing it because then it was easy for me to go over it with a marker. So I scored it first, but I can follow along those score lines. So now I'm going to go ahead and score. So this one will actually have already been scored, but I'm going to score at 2 3/8 and 3 1/8. And then on this side, it'll be 8 3/4, 9 5/8. Okay, so those are my score lines, with this being the top of my box card envelope. Well, I don't know. I'm going to show you what it's going to be. It's going to look like a giant envelope that's a box, so it's really cool. So this will be the top. Okay, so once we do all that scoring, we are then going to turn. I tried to make this easy for you. We're going to turn it. And then we're going to be doing some more scoring. I don't have all my things marked here because it started getting too confusing and I just had to write it all down. So now we're going to score at 3 1/2, 4 1/4, 5 inches. That's all I want to score here. Now, up at the top, I eventually will be needing to cut this out. You can score, but you don't want to come past this line. And that would be at 9 and 5/8. That's not right. 9 and 3/8. Sorry. This is 9 and 3/8. But you can score it if that makes it easier for you to cut, or just use a light pencil when you're doing it. You know what I did was I took a ruler and I went like this and I just made my line. It made it much easier. The 4 1/4 inch was easy for me to do because I already had to score it. But these are my cut lines. So that's why I'm telling you, you want to make sure you know that those are your cut lines, okay? And it'll make sense as we go along. All right, so those are all my measurements. And that last one over here is 9 and 3/8. I realize I hadn't written that down. And you're going to do that again on this side, which is 9 and 3/8. So what you're going to do is just line it up on there and then bring it down and just fill in that area right here so that you can actually cut that. So again, I will show you. Okay, so we're going back to the top. So those are the measurements. The stamp set I'm going to be using is the Happier Than Happy. I wanted a large image for when I put it all together so that it kind of filled in the front area. And again, you'll see as I go along. I know I'm being kind of cryptic, but it'll make more sense. Okay, so here is the piece I'm going to actually cut with you. Because that way you guys can see what it is I've done. But then I actually have the paper piece that I'm going to use, and I will cut that again. So this way you can at least see what it is I'm going to cut, okay? So you do want to mark your top because that will make a difference later on when you go to cut some of your, like your top of the folder, top of the card, I should say. Let me get this chair out of my way. My goodness, I keep kicking it. All right, no sitting down for me. I've got too much to do and show you guys and share. So this will be very cool. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you what I'm trying to explain here. So the very, very first thing that I need to do is cut this for my edge, okay? Now, it's the easiest way to do it. You can use your scissors. Like, you really don't need anything other than a scoring tool, and you can use your scoring tool that's on your Stampin' Up! Trimmer as well. But I'm going to go ahead. I did on my first prototypes, I just cut with scissors, but then I thought, oh, I can actually make this a little bit straighter if I just use my cutter. So I'm going to cut that first edge off and pitch that. And then I'll flip it and cut the other edge off. And then this is my edge. Okay, again, I know which way is the top. So on my paper piece, I just put a little dot. You can use just a little pen mark or something so that you know where the top is. Now the rest of it, I will be using my scissors because I don't want to ruin it. All right, so what we need to do next is we need to cut this. So I'm going to be making the shape of an envelope, but it's going to be a box. And then you can decorate it, and then you can add little goodies in it. So I guess I should explain exactly what I'm doing. So from here, we want to go, hello, Jackie, to my, did I just go too far? Yes, I did, because I want to go to my cut line right there. And then that's why it's red. So that's where I want to stop, and I just went too far. But you know what? There's always a fix for that, and I'll show you what that is, because this is just my sample. And trust me, I've gone through quite a bit of designer paper, which has been some of my old retired designer paper or old colors of, see, I'm going to fix it right here. My old color, what did I cut too far? My old colors of cardstock. So this is actually my vanilla 12 by 12 cardstock. I'm doing this so I have a template And so that I can go back and, you know, like the one that I scribbled all the measurements on. But I'm going to keep this and that one so that I have it all. But I do want to cut only to that cut line, which is why I did them in red for you. So it helps if I follow my lead here. Okay. That was my driveway bell. Maybe we have an Amazon package. I don't know. All right. So the next thing I'm doing, again, if you can envision like an envelope look, that's what this is going to be. So I'm going to use this line to cut, and then I'm going to cut this flap off also. Okay. I'm going to cut this line. So these lines and measurements obviously are important. And then I'm going to cut this down. La, la, la. There we go. Now, on this one, I think I can keep that straight. No, I am going to cut this at a small angle. Just like that. And I didn't draw it in, and they may not be even, but you know what? This is called art. And whoever gets it, I'm sure will be super, super excited. Okay. So here we go. This is the piece that I cut. I wanted you to see exactly what it looks like. I will fold it all up so that you can see it. This piece will come in. This piece will come in because this is going to make our pocket. Now, the way that this piece would actually fold, this 4.5 inch, which is where this ends, this is the center fold. So when this goes down, I know that 4.25 inch. I don't know what I said. I think I said 4.5. And these might be in the way, so I have to cut that down a little bit on both of these. Yep, it was a delivery. I hope it has my name on it. So those have to come down. But this 4.25 inch is going to be my half fold up. So that's exactly what I needed. Now you can go back and clean all this up afterwards. I'm not going to do that because using cardstock to make this is very difficult for your bottom to lie flat. So we are going to go back and use designer paper. But I'm just kind of giving you this whole tutorial so that you can see exactly what I did. So it's going to come in. This is going to fold up, and that's going to be my half, okay? The other thing you want to do is you do want to put some adhesive here, but you don't want it to come all the way up because look, when I fold this, that part is going to be exposed. So I suggest that you run your adhesive from here to here and here to here and use our terrible tape, which is my favorite because it is easy to tear. Therefore, it is terrible. A little play on words, but I love this tape. So you do want to make sure that you, and I know this because the very first one I put together, I was so excited. I put adhesive all the way up the top, and then I put it down, and I went, uh-oh, this is showing, and I should have known that. So adhesive here, and adhesive here, and then fold it up, and it'll stick, okay? So are you seeing kind of my envelope as it's coming along? Let me go ahead and switch over to the actual designer paper that we have. So this is with the Happier Than Happy DSP. Sorry, I don't know if that's the exact name, but hi, Kathleen. Oh my goodness, all the way up there in Delaware. I'm waving to you because you're not that far from me. So this is one of the papers that come out of that darling, darling suite. And I think it's called Happier Than Happy, the designer paper as well. But it's super stinking cute, and it's in our annual catalog. So here's a tip when you're doing this. If you have paper that has an actual design that you can see it like this is going in this direction, you have to make sure that you take your paper and flip it. Because don't forget, that front piece is going to fold up at some point, and you want to make sure your scenery is going to be upward. So just make sure that your designer paper, if it has a pattern that you want, like some of them may have a pattern like this and it won't matter. But on these that I'm using, I'm doing it specifically. And that is also the reason that I marked my top. You can see my little teeny tiny top, and I marked it right in the center at the 6-inch mark before I did any cutting. Okay. So again, this is going to be folding up. So I want my paper upside down when I go to cut. So I'm going to pretend like I can see all these score lines that are on here, and I'm going to try to cut this on while you guys are watching me. Well, give me 1 second. You know what? I'll put this one back down so that you can mark. Hopefully you can see everything. Let me see if I can see it in the camera. There. Oh, there it is. And then I'll cut this, try to cut it super fast. I know I can use my cutter to at least cut that one half off, that one part off. But man, seeing the score lines, ooh, that is not an easy feat. So if you have a light pencil, you can always do that. So let's just cross your fingers that I am doing this right, because I really want you to see how darling this is. I have one made up, but I have to show you how to do all the little steps so it makes sense anyway. Okay, so I got those ends cut, and now I'm just going to cut to my score lines. So let's see. So if I cut on this side, nope, I need to cut it on the other side so I can see better. All right, score line, where are you? You know what I can do is I can cheat and use this. So it's going like this, and make sure that if you flip it over the other way, that you know what you've done. Okay, so on here I can see that score line. So I'm just going to cut. And like I said, I'm pretty sure it's going to be close. Close, like in horseshoes, maybe? But here's this. You guys can copy this, okay? Wow, Candy's over here cutting. I had wanted to have it all cut. And I can actually kind of fold along the score line, which is going to help me see a little bit better. Which reminds me, I think I left... Oh, no, I have my bone folder there. So I will cut this. Did I forget to mark that other one? I did. Oh my goodness. There are so many things you have to remember. Right? And if you forget, oh, then there's a lot of ho-hum time. That's not right. Okay, I'm just going to eyeball. Right to about there. I'm going to guess that that looks right. Okay, and then this side. So this should go like this. Let's see if I did that right. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, so let me cut this part out. Apologize, you guys. I really did mean to have it done beforehand. So now this, so you have to have your little wings because this is what it's going to fold up on. Okay, and then let me make sure that is the right one. There's my little wing. And I should have done this with a pencil, but I didn't. And right about there. Looks good. Looks perfect. And then again on these, you do want to cut up a little angle on each one of these. It just makes your folding a lot easier. La, 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 la. I should have like background music playing or something. I'd sing for you, but you'd all be going, please don't. Okay, I think my mess that I just flung on the floor is almost done. Yay. All right, so I'll bring those instructions back later. So now here's my top, and I'm going to fold this over. Nope, I'm going to fold it this way. Okay, so we know that that center line is going to be my, what do I want to say? My center fold on there. So you can see when I scored this that I actually didn't cut that part very well. Let's do a quick fix. Dun, 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 dun. Just a quick little trim so it's not, doesn't have a hangover. Nobody wants paper with a hangover. All right, so we've got our little sides folded. Again, this is my top. I'm going to fold this over and get my creases good. Now this side is a little off, but it's all right. It's going to be beautiful. All right, so next, our center fold is this 4 1/4 inch, which there's 3 score lines here, like these, 1, 2, 3. So I'm folding it up because this is going to come up like that and make our little pocket. So let's do it. And I may have to cut a little more off of that bottom part in order for it to fold right. If you've ever made a bagalope, that's what this is. It's like making a bagalope. And I do want to cut this little part off because it's going to be in the way when I go to fix it all. I played with that earlier and I had the same thing, so I forgot to cut that part off. But it'll all make sense once again. And then I'm just going to chop that at an angle. So if it doesn't feel right when you fold it up, just redo that. Okay, so now we have this. I'm going to go ahead and add my adhesive, which this one I did down a little lower. It's all right. And my terrible tape is right here. And I will go ahead and add this on both sides. So I want to make sure that I am putting this down because when I do this, yep, we're going for it. I do want it to come up to the top, well, the bottom and the top. I do want it to meet up here because I want to make sure it's going to close. And I took my pick a tool across the room, so I don't have that with me at the moment. But oh my gosh, you guys are going to love this when it's done. Seriously, when it's all done, it's going to be adorable. And hopefully these instructions make sense because I was having a ton of fun with it. I came up with, like I said, a bunch of my old designer paper and was just playing with it. Okay, so I'll grab that corner and then I'll go ahead and do this again. And this corner. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold this up in hopes that I'm not too high up there. Nope. See how it's like my envelope piece. So while this is flat, I am going to, did I not cut off enough there? No, that's right. Okay, so while this is flat, I've got my top here, but what I'm going to do is cut that into a point. I say that when I look to see where I put my cutter. You know, I don't even have that much room here, but it's kind of a jumble. So I'm going to take this little point here, and I am going to put that right in the center, and then I'm going to line this up, my other edge here. Can you guys see that in there? Yeah. And I just want to cut that corner off with a quick snip. Now I'm going to do the same on this side so I know where my point is, but it doesn't matter because you're going to come right down to that line there. So you just line it up. Now I am going to use these triangles afterwards because look at how adorable. I was going to throw them away, and when I flipped them over, I thought, ooh, those are too cute to not use. So now I have the top of my envelope looking thing here. Next, what we're going to do is those score lines that I have on the sides, I'm going to go ahead and fold them and use the bone folder. Definitely use the bone folder because you need to go backwards and forward, and you could not do this too many times. This is a great project if you're going to be like sitting watching TV and you need to make a few of them, and you can sit here and do this part after. Like after you get all your scoring and gluing done, then you can go back and do this part while you're watching your favorite television show. Okay, so we've got the 3 sides. We've got the sides and the bottom. And this paper is kind of thick, but it'll work. It will work. So you just need to kind of work it, everyone, and get it down there. So your score lines, you want deep score lines so that they're easy to fold, and then just burnish them again. And I'm going to go back and do it one more time. The corners are the hardest part, and I'm hoping I did the corners right on this. But if not, you'll learn from my mistakes. Okay, so now what we're going to do is pop this out. So your bone folder can be very handy here, or a pair of scissors. But along those score lines, I'm going to just kind of take and pat down on my paper, which will bring up those score lines again. If you can't get that corner to come out, use your scissors carefully, or use your bone folder to get in there. See, just like that. You want to make sure you get where that fold is, where your score lines come together, and then score that, and then not score it, but kind of fold it in. And if it's not, sometimes it'll make your paper pucker, and we don't want any puckering paper. So make sure you get that little corner right there and right there. And then when you're done, you can take a piece of tape when you get the one side down and just tape that edge. Now, if this bothers you, you can take some of the scraps that you cut off, and you can always go back and just cover that up if you want. Whatever makes you happy. Some people like it to look really finished, but it is going to be the bottom, and I don't know that anybody would even notice it. So when you get to this point, again, just fold it out, kind of press it down, make sure those corners are good, and then it'll just lay down for you. It's behaving. I'm so happy my paper is behaving. Oh, good paper, good paper. And Stampin' Up's paper, I'm telling you, it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. So look, so this one, for some reason, I think when I didn't measure up there, I cut it a little smaller, but no worries. This is what it's supposed to somewhat look like. I'll show you the corrected one that I have done. And I don't know, other than I think I came down too low on this one. But let me show you. But isn't that cute? And I will use this one, but I want to show you the one that I had put together earlier. And I did the other paper that I had. So this was in the same pack. It had this darling tree paper, and I just loved it. So you can use this one or you can use this one, but I'm going to go with this one because it had more room up here. It came down at an angle, so I'm not, well, this one did too. I don't know why that, but see, I cut it down too low, so I must not have measured right. But anyway, this one's correct. If you follow those measurements that I gave you, it should all be fine. I think it's because I didn't have the pencil marks to follow it. Okay, so this is what I'm now going to do is I'm going to decorate this. I made this so that the bottom it's 1.5 inches. That's why I did the 3/4 inches around the sides, or 3 1/8, whatever they were, because I wanted this to be wide, but I didn't want it to be 1 inch. I did try doing one that was 1 inch, and depending on what you're putting in there, here, I have it right here on the table. Depending on what you're putting in there, maybe you want it wider, and you just have to fudge with the with the measurements, which I have them, and I'll post those if you want them bigger. But this one is much wider, and that really wasn't what I wanted, and it made this part smaller. So because you had to come in on everything. But if that's what you want, I will put those measurements out there for you too. But this is exactly what I wanted. So let me go ahead and finish because I'm so excited about this project. So I used the stamps, and I'm going to tell you I already stamped and die cut it out. The little bear was this cute little bear that's in the Happier Than Happy. I used the soft suede ink. So I have it here, soft suede ink. And it is part of that paper pack. That's one of the colors that they have in here. So I used the soft suede ink. And I used the Calypso Coral for my fox. So I stamped and die cut out a fox, a bear, and a couple of little trees. Our die cuts are so cute in this set that I went ahead and die cut out just 2 of the trees. So really my idea to show you today was to just show you how to make this. You can design and decorate any way you want. And this was actually pretty fun once I got going and figured out all the measurements. That was tricky. And to use our Stampin' Up! Paper to make these darling, darling little boxes. So let me get going here and finish this up. So I remember I told you when you cut the top off, well, on this box, to not throw these away. Even though they're scored, you actually can't see the score lines on them. So what I did was I saved the pieces that were here. And look how cute. I grabbed a scrap of the soft suede cardstock, and I just laid my piece on it and cut around it using my little cutter. Now, it didn't matter that this part here is like flat, because look, they're going to tuck into one another. And I am going to use it on the front to add a little more color to my box. So you can lay them flat, or you can make it so that they pop up. But I'm going to lay these flat. And let me see, I just came up with an idea as to what will work so that I can have something to glue it on. See, now I have a flatter surface in there, so when I glue, it'll make a little more sense. So let's get that glued on. And then I'll pop up everybody else. So I'm going to put this side down first. Just a little bit of glue. Dun, dun, dun. And then get this on here. I love our mono liquid glue. So I'm going to put this on, and I'm going to leave a little border around because it just looked cute. Oh my gosh. I had so much fun playing with this, and I literally spent all morning for you guys getting this done because I was adamant. I had the idea last night, but I just ran out of time. I'm prepping for a big class on Saturday, and I just ran out of time. So this morning I started and I thought, oh, I'll go to the gym. And then I looked at the clock and I said, no, I won't. I won't have this done. But that's cool. I can go tomorrow. Mañana. So I am going to slide this ink pad over here so it's a little flatter area that I can press down on. Isn't that genius? Your ink pads come in handy so many different ways. You just never know. All right, so I'm going to pop up the little bear, and I'm just going to keep those stamp pads under there for my use. So I'm going to use some dimensionals and just put them behind him. You guys, this is almost done, and he is just adorable. Dun, dun. I don't want to go too high because his head is going to be overlapping the top, and I don't want the dimensional to be there because it'll be all sticky. Okay, so let's put little happy bear, maybe right about there. How does that look? Cute. Okay, and then we're going to put the cute little fox down here somewhere along with our little, what's that called? Toadstool. Oh my goodness, my brain is just not firing. You know, sometimes you have days like that. So let me go ahead and put a couple dimensionals on here. 1, 2, because we can pop this little fox up. And then his tail, I'm going to put a mini dimensional. And if you don't have these are the best because you don't have to cut your pieces. You can cut the sides like this, but why when I have an extra pack over here? So we'll put our little fox in place. I know it's kind of with that toadstool, but there you go, little foxy fox. Okay, and then we're gonna add a little tree for some greenery. Put it right about there. Now, I forgot. I tell you guys usually put this on adhesive, the adhesive sheets, but after I die cut them all, I had forgotten, and I said, oh well, I'll just put it on the old-fashioned way with glue. So we'll come down here, have that meet the edge of the thing. I'm just winging it now. And then the other little tree, I could pop that one up. Sure, I say, let's do it. Let's pop it up. And actually, these might be a little bit big. So the thing about this, the mini dimensionals is they have a really thick outline and you can cut big pieces. Let's see if that's too big. Good enough. It'll work. Oh my gosh. So I am so excited that I got to go, like I said, go home to California and spend. I actually was having so much fun with my dad, and he's, you know, thank God, just doing so well at 98. And I pray we can all live to be to live that long. I extended my trip. I said, you know what? I'm already here, Dad, and I am gonna just stay an extra week. So I had almost 2 whole weeks with my dad. And I have family out there too, so I have siblings. I got to see them as well, but I'm bragging on Dad. Okay, so let's pop this little tree up. Oops, I see where part of that white is showing, and that'll bug me. So we'll tuck that in over here. And then pop up my little tree. It's still showing, but that's all right. I have to get over it. Yay! What do you think? So far, so good? Okay, let me take this out because now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. And I gotta fix this. You know, those little things that just bug you when they're not. There we go. And do not be sticky down there. Good thing I have an eraser. I'll go over it later. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is I want to make this a gift. And of course, we need a little stamping words in there. So I did stamp a little hello baby. And I'm going to pop this up here, but I want to add a little twine on there because I thought that is stinking cute. Stinking cute. And which twine? I think I'm just going to go with the white. The white, the white, the white. And I have that right there. This assortment twine is awesome. I'm pretty sure it's still in the catalog. At least I hope so. Because I use it all the time. So I'm just going to take a little bit of twine. It's nice that this little tag, and these are from the die cuts from this set. This little bear set, the Happier Than Happy. And I just stamped the words and I was able to die cut it out. I don't know if I have it over here. No, it's probably over at my handy dandy die cutter. Okay, so let's pop this up with a little dimensional right here on the little bear's hand. How cute is this? And then we're going to pop that up. Hello, baby. Hello, baby. I'll put that behind the bear's face so I don't cover him. And lastly, I have one more piece to glue down. I used our Stylish Shapes. I love, love, love these dies. I will use them until the cows come home. Isn't that what they say? And I'm going to just use them. So I have the round and I have the square. And this is actually the size I used was the about the 2-inch. And I stamped on here this cute little Happier Than Happy, which is going to go here. Or I thought about the circular one, but, you know, and I was going to ask you guys for your help on this. But what I ended up coming up with was both of them and just using the two shapes. Because of this point, I just wanted something to go up there. So I thought that would even be cute and make it pop out a little bit more. So I'm going to put this down, and I will lay this part down flat only because I don't have a reason. So let's do this. And straighten that up. Hello, everyone. And then this is going to go on here. Look at how cute. So I just thought then, and this Mossy Meadow cardstock is the green. And I just thought, how cute is that to kind of give it that darker pop of green. Okay, so are you ready for it to almost be done? Oh my gosh. So you guys can just, I'm sure there's a million ideas. I have so many of them floating in my head, but I only had so many hours to get this done today. But here's what I decided to do. So I ran to CVS on my way back here to start my live because I kept thinking baby. And I thought, isn't that cute for some new parents to give them just a fun little thing that they can actually set up and leave it out? You could make it birthday. You can come up with all sorts of different themes, maybe military even. But I grabbed some of the yummy caramels because I needed something to fill the bottom. And even though it's a baby gift, this is for the mom and dad, right? They can have a little bit of sweets while they're taking care of their sweet little one. Haha. Okay, so then I found that, and I found these, coming up with ideas, I found these really cute little socks. These are actually a little bit big for a baby, but I couldn't find any baby ones, and that child will grow into these. Yes, they will. So they can use them at some point in their life. This is just for show. I know there are baby socks out there, but this is what I found. So just go with it with me. Just roll. And I was really, really concerned with all my colors. And I'm like, you know what? That's green. It's going to be perfect. And then the last thing that I found, because I really wanted this to make sense for everybody, were some of these little, what are they called? What are they called? Teething. Well, they're called cutie coolers, but they're like teethers. And they just had, I didn't want to put too much in there, but they just had these cute little teethers that I thought would fit in there perfectly. So that's my little gift idea for you. It's called a box card. And, you know, you don't have to fill it with stuff. You can just fill it with decorations. And I've seen people put like flowers and stuff on them, but I didn't see a whole lot out there on the internet. So I had to make a couple up for you guys. I hope you love this, and I will be posting some more later on this week because I just can't stop. They're so cute. Thanks for watching. I'll be back next Wednesday and with some more 411 Stampin' Fun with Candy Michael. Thanks, everyone. Hey, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe because I may start also doing some YouTube lives. So I haven't done it yet, but I might do that. So subscribe to my channel, give me some likes, share this with your friends. You can see where I didn't use a pencil here, so that's kind of a boo-boo, but it's my sample for you, and I hope you love it. It's adorable. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now. Ciao.